DreAllDay.com.
So we're going to talk about building your brand, actually separating your brand from other people. Somebody just asked me this question on the last scope I was doing. Please swipe to the right, share this, get other people in here. We want to get more people in here. Please hit them hearts as many times as possible and post your questions about separating your brand, because that's what we're about to talk about. Shifty Drew, what's going on? Let me know who you are, where you from when you're checking in right now also. Please keep sharing. Thank you, Harlem Joe. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Rocastinut. Kyle again. Solutions Turk, what's going on? Vano from Jersey, what's going on? Please swipe to the right, share, hit them hearts, please. So let's get right into it. We talk about separating your brand. A lot of times people get caught up in the rat race of trying to market themselves and market what they're doing. Solutions, what's going on? People get caught up in the rat race of trying to market themselves in the space these days. And if you're trying to compete against other people for getting your marketing messages heard right now, and you don't have a established brand name, No Days Off from Chicago, Harlem Joe from Bosnia, what's up? C. Williams, what's going on? See, you just came in. Listen, if you're trying to market yourself right now, and Minot, North Dakota is at it again. I ain't never met nobody from North Dakota, so what's up, Shifty Drew? So now, if you're trying to market yourself and you don't have an established brand name that's actually drawing people to you like a magnet, but you're out there trying to draw people, you're trying to get people by marketing your messages right now, you are in the rat race. That is the social media marketing rat race. And we'll just use social media, but marketing, a lot of marketing is done on social media these days. I don't know if there's anybody here who's purchased a billboard in the last day or last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or recorded a commercial or got a radio spot. We all on social media because it doesn't cost any money to get on social media. So if you're in social media trying to market yourself, you're in a rat race right now because you don't have an established brand name, or if you don't have an established brand name. No Day Off, thank you for sharing. Invite more followers. So here's the thing. This is how it's actually done. First thing that you got to understand is that the #1 currency of today's marketing world is not people's money. You're not after people's money when you're out there marketing in the social media space. The first thing you are after is people's attention. Because attention, when people are paying you attention, then you can sell them something. Because I can have the best product in the world and be the best salesman out there, but guess what? If I have no prospects to call on and sit down with and present my product or service, who can I sell anything to? I can't sell anything to anybody if I don't have anybody listening to me and looking at me and seeing what it is that I have to offer. So the first thing you got to do is get people's attention. If you are out there trying to get attention, your brand name is not established, you're going to be in a rat race running on that, you know, that hamster wheel. Any of you ever seen a mouse or a hamster in the pet store and they just get on the wheel and just keep running and running and running and not getting anywhere? You're going to be on the treadmill, the social media marketing treadmill. You don't want to be there. So I'm going to explain to you exactly how we do that, because this is one of the things that I specialize in, is helping people and businesses establish their brand name so they actually get seen and heard, cutting through the fat of everybody else trying to do the exact same thing. So the first thing you got to understand is, again, you got to establish that brand name. The next thing is this. A lot of people get caught up in the details and the BS of social media marketing, which is like, yo, what time should I post on Facebook? Or how long should each YouTube video be? Or how many hashtags should I post? How many hashtags should I add in each Instagram post? Or what should I use? What should I do on Snapchat? Or how long should each tweet be so it's ideal to get retweeted and favorited and all this other bullshit? Listen, you don't have to do none of that. None of that matters. If you're doing any of that stuff and that's really what you're focusing on, you know where you are. You're in the rat race. You're in the social media rat race. You're running on a hamster wheel or the treadmill, if it's a better visual for you, of marketing yourself. And all you're gonna do, the higher the competition gets, you're just gonna be running faster and faster and faster, still getting absolutely nowhere. If you think about it like this, think about social media and marketing space these days. Is there anybody you've heard of in the last 30, 60, 90 days who say, you know what, Jason, you know what, Mark, you know what, Dre, me and my company, we decided we're not doing any more social media marketing. We're just going to delete our social media accounts and we never get involved in social media again. So we deleted our Twitter, we deleted our website, we deleted our YouTube, deleted our LinkedIn, we deleted everything. We're talking about branding. We're talking about branding and marketing yourself right now, Timothy Edward. That's what we're talking about. So here's the thing. You haven't heard anybody say that. If anything, in the last 30, 60, 90 days, you got way more competition than you had before. Every single day, there is another person, another business, another brand, another product, another service who's getting on Twitter, who's creating an Instagram account, who's publishing more YouTube videos, who's signing up for LinkedIn and publishing in the little groups and making their own blog posts. You got more people coming in every single day. So if you are trying to compete against everybody else that's out there, you are already in a losing position no matter what place you are in that race. Because even if you're in first place, now you got a million people running to catch up to you from behind. You got to run faster and faster and faster just to stay in first place. This means you're going to be running on that treadmill of competing against other businesses for the rest of your life, or the life of your business, whichever one lasts longer. You don't want to be in that position. The number one thing you need to do is carve out your branding space so that when your brand is established, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, because the only place your fans can get what you offer is to get it from you. Nobody else can deliver it the way that you can deliver it. If you think about your favorite musical artist or your favorite rapper, whoever, let's say your favorite rapper is Tupac. All right, now if you want to hear some Tupac, who you got to listen to? Can you listen to Jay-Z and get some Tupac? Can you listen to 50 Cent and get Tupac? Can you listen to Jeezy and get Tupac? Can you listen to Drake and get Tupac? No. None of them can do Tupac like Tupac. So if you want to hear Tupac, the only place you can get it is to put on some old Tupac or new Tupac, depending on if you think he's alive or not. But you get the point. You can only get Tupac from Tupac. There is no competition to his style. And it's the same thing you need to do with your business, with your brand, with your product, with your service. You need to put yourself in a position where the only place people can get what you got is from getting it from you. If you're a commodity, which means there are 5, 10, 500 other people who are delivering the same thing you're delivering, you're in the rat race, you're running on the treadmill. If you're watching this, you're enjoying what I'm saying, please keep hitting those hearts. Swipe to the right and share this. Invite other followers. Bring other people in from Twitter, because this is information that people need to hear. So the next thing is this. Once you build equity in your brand name, it doesn't matter what time you post. You don't need to post at 3:30 every Tuesday on Facebook and 9 a.m. every Thursday on Twitter. And your YouTube videos don't need to be between 90 seconds and 3 minutes. It doesn't matter. When you have an established brand name, you can make a 30-minute YouTube video and people going to watch it if you're saying something. You can post on Instagram at midnight on a Friday and people going to like it, because guess what? Your fans cannot get what you deliver from anybody else. So when you deliver it, they ready for it. Just like when Beyonce dropped that album out of nowhere. She didn't have to market it. She didn't have to tell people, yo, my album's coming out in 6 months. She didn't have to go on a radio tour. Why? It's because nobody could do Beyonce like Beyonce. So when Beyonce dropped, there is nowhere else they could get it. So when it came out, what happened? She sold 1 million copies in one day. That's because there was nowhere else to get Beyonce. That's the brand. You want to put your business in the exact same space where nobody can get what you got besides getting it from you. And if you ain't putting it out, they just got to wait. It's just a drought and they got to wait for it. So with your brand, be it a business, be it a product, one person, what you had to do to start your brand, establish your brand, you got to find and speak in your own language. Now, whether your language be the language of a company, if it's more than one person, let's say it's 10 of y'all or 100 of y'all, your company needs to find its identity. The same way Apple has an identity. The same way Target has an identity. The same way Walmart has an identity. Any company, you got to come up with an identity as a company. If you are an individual, or if we're talking about a product, let's say you're a product or a service that has to come up with an identity, like Avis rental cars. What do they say? We try harder. They're not the #1 rental car company, but they say, hey, since we're not #1, we try harder. So you know your idea, the picture I'm getting when I hear that we try harder, is that they're going to give extra great service. They're going to try extra hard because they know they don't have a market share that some of their competitors have. So that's their brand. We try harder. Then you think about any other company who has a slogan. Think about any collective, if it's more than one person. G-Unit. Think about G-Unit, the rap group, when they were around, when they first came out. It was a collective energy. If you heard G-Unit, you got a certain picture in your mind of what it is you were getting from them. They had an identity. They found their voice and they spoke in their voice. So that's the first thing you got to do when you establish your brand. When you see me, I got a certain voice. You know, it's not a company. It's not a whole bunch of people that represent. When you see WOYG, you see Dre all day, you know you're going to see and you're going to hear from me. There might be other people in the background, but the main person up there is me. So I found my identity. I found my voice. You think about somebody like Oprah. Oprah has a certain voice. Puff Daddy has a certain voice. Steve Harvey has a certain voice. Lil Wayne has a certain voice. They might have other people who work with them to help keep the machine running, but the front person, they had to establish what their voice is, and they had to speak in that voice over and over again, because there are certain people who are going to buy into that. Those are your fans, and I'm going to get to what you do with your fans once you have them here. So who are you? That's the question. Who are you? If you don't know who you are and you can't answer that question, you don't have a brand. And when you don't have a brand, you're going to be running on that social media hamster wheel or treadmill for the rest of your life. So when you want to establish a brand, there's 4 things that you want to do. Here's the #1 thing. You have to ask yourself, what do you do that no one else does? And for some people, this is a tough question, because if they're doing something that a lot of other people do, they think that they're stuck, that there's nothing they can do. So I'm going to tell y'all a story about this girl named Michelle. Michelle had came to me. She was she is I don't know, I haven't talked to her in a while. She's a massage therapist in South Florida. Any of you live in South Florida or been in South Florida, you can understand a place like this where there's a bunch of people vacationing. The weather's always nice. Everybody cares about their body to the extreme. There are a whole lot of massage therapists in this town. There are a whole lot of spas. You will trip over a spa just walking down the street. So they're everywhere. Michelle's a massage therapist. She came to me and said, Dre, you know, I'm a massage therapist. I know I'm good at what I do, but there are so many other masseuses out there. How do I separate myself from everybody else out there? So I said, Michelle, just imagine this. Let's say you're in a room with 1,000 people in it. 1,000 people in a room at a massage therapist convention. And there's one customer standing on stage, and that customer says, listen, I want to become a customer for the next 10 years of one of you, but I don't know which one to pick. Michelle, please come up to the stage and tell me why I should pick you over all the other 999 people in this room. And I said, Michelle, what would you say? What would you say if I'm trying to figure out if I should pick you, her, or him? Why should I pick you? And Michelle said, all right, well, you know, I have 10 plus years of experience, and I'm certified to do 13 different types of massage, and I have a lot of satisfied clients. I said, stop. I'm falling asleep already, Michelle. What the hell are you talking about? Well, I understood what she was talking about, but this is what I told her. I said, Michelle, listen, any massage therapist could say what you just said. So if that's your differentiating factor, you're not differentiating at all, you better put your sneakers on, because you're going to be running on the treadmill for a long ass time, for as long as you live or as long as your business lasts. And Rokesh the Nut says something like, sell me this pen, like Jordan Belfort. Something like that. That's kind of like that, but not exactly. So the first thing is you got to establish what you do that no one else does. So the question is, how can you do that when you're doing something that a whole bunch of other people are doing? Well, look at me. Let's say my first thing was I was playing basketball. That's the first thing people knew me for, was playing basketball. Am I the only basketball player you've heard of? Hell no. There are thousands and thousands of people playing basketball. Now it's thousands of people doing YouTube. When I started, I was the first basketball guy doing YouTube. So there, basketball and YouTube. I own that intersection. Then 1,000 other people start making YouTube videos about basketball. So now I can't differentiate with that. Just that, I can say, well, I was the first guy on YouTube doing basketball, and I got a website, and I'm blogging, and I can talk about marketing and branding and business. And I can put all that together, and when you see WOYFG, you know you're talking about me. Now I own that space. So it can be an intersection of 2 things. It could be an intersection of 10 things, but you have to own a space. So let's take an example that's not me. How many publishing platforms out there in social media allow you to publish something publicly to the universe whenever you feel like it instantly? How many platforms are there to do that? They all do that, right? You could do that on Tumblr. You could do it on your blog. You could do it on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Periscope. You could publish immediately anytime you feel like it on any platform. Now, here's the second question. Which platform limits you to 140 characters per post? There's only one answer. The answer is Twitter. There is no other answer. So that intersection, publish anytime you want, plus is only 140 characters, there's only one answer, Twitter. That is a brand name. A brand name is established when no one else can say, we do that too. It has to be somewhere where you say, I do this, 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 and this, and nobody else can say, oh, me too. Nobody else can say 140 characters anytime you feel like it. Nobody owns that 140 character space but Twitter, and that's a brand name. If you think about the 90s, I know a lot of y'all are young. A lot of y'all was born, like, is anybody watching this who was born after the year 2000? Who was not born in the 1900s at all watching this? I just want to know. But anyway, I'm going to use the same example whether I use it or not. All right, so we got some people in here. No Days Off. Boston was born in 97. You still young. You 18 years old. All right, here's the thing. Listen. Remember Criss Cross, the rap group Criss Cross, who was out in like the early 90s? And I know Criss Cross was a long time ago because I was in elementary school when Criss Cross came out. So Criss Cross, this rap group, they had a song called Jump, and their whole thing was that they wore their clothes backwards. They wore their clothes backwards, and that was their calling card, wearing their clothes backwards. And they were so popular at the time that clothing companies started designing clothes that were made to be worn backwards. That's how popular they were. And I used to wear I think I had a pair of shorts that was made to be worn backwards, but I would wear my shirt or my shorts backwards sometimes because I was such a big fan of Criss Cross, and I was like 9, 10 years old. And it's a silly thing now that we look back on it, but when you think about that, if you would have seen somebody walking around a mall or somebody in school in class with their clothes on backwards, there was only one reason they had that. There was only one reason they were doing that, and applied to everybody, and there was no second guessing it. It was because they were a fan of Crisscross. That's the thing when you own a brand. You put yourself in a space where when somebody sees it or hears it or reads it, they know that they're talking about you. When you see somebody say the Beehive or the Bayhive, I don't know how she says it, you know that's Rihanna. I mean, not Rihanna, Beyonce. See, I'm getting it mixed up. You know that's Beyonce. When you hear somebody say, what's something else I can say? When we talk about I can't even think of something. We Try Harder, Avis. That's a brand name. When you had Hertz, the rental car company, they used to have the commercials where it's like, hey, do we have Hertz? And the guy would be like, not exactly. So somebody said not exactly, we knew they were talking about Hertz. So it got to the point where they owned a word, not just a space, but a word. If somebody said the phrase not exactly, you knew they were talking about Hertz. So the next thing is your fans need something to identify with. Having your fans, Yeezus could be Kanye West, exactly. Number two is your fans need something to identify with. And something to identify with can be a phrase, like just do it. When somebody says just do it, who are we talking about? Everybody knows the answer to that. Crisscross is like wearing the clothes backwards. It could be a logo. Like if you see, you might not eat McDonald's at all, but when you see those golden arches and that M, everybody knows that that's McDonald's. There's nothing to confuse that with. There's nobody else who's even close to owning that space. So you got to give your fans something to identify with. When you see WOYG or work on your game, you know who owns that. Nobody else. Somebody else can say it. Exactly. Timothy typed it just as I was saying it. When you hear somebody say that, you got to attribute it to Dre Baldwin. Other people might use the phrase not even knowing, but somebody's going to attribute like, yo, that's Dre Baldwin. Dre Baldwin says that all the time. Work on your game. Number three. You must deliver on your promise, because a brand is nothing if it's not consistent. Any of you drink Starbucks, or any of you eat Skittles candy, or any of you, what's something else? What's something else that I can think of? Let's just use those two. Any of you drank Starbucks. If you've been to more than one Starbucks location, you know that your drink of choice, your favorite drink, is going to taste exactly the same no matter which Starbucks you go to. If you like Dunkin' Donuts, no matter where you go, the glazed donut tastes pretty much the same. You like Pizza Hut, no matter if you ordered a pizza in San Francisco or you ordered it in Connecticut, the pepperoni pizza is going to be put together pretty much exactly the same every single time. So when you own a brand, you have to be consistent so people know exactly what they're going to get from you. Dre Baldwin, I say, work on your game. You know I'm going to post a video on YouTube every single day. You know I'm going to post on my website every single day. That's part of my brand. So if I stop doing it consistently, people are going to be confused. Like, yo, Dre, what are you doing? And if people are confused about what your brand represents, then they'll cease to become fans. They won't be bought into what you're doing anymore. And then you got to get some more fans because the fans that you had are like, well, Dre's not doing the thing that I connected with him for doing. See, people connect with Starbucks because they like the iced, cappuccino latte or whatever you want to call it. If they stop selling the iced cappuccino latte, then their fans gonna go away like, yo, that's the reason I bought into them. They not doing it no more, so I don't like them no more. If Pizza Hut's pizzas start being inconsistent, it tastes different wherever I get it from, I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna get when I call Pizza Hut. I'm not calling them no more. And the only exception to that is if your brand is to be unpredictable. Your brand is inconsistency. But the only problem with being inconsistent is that it gets tiresome. People eventually grow tired of you doing crazier and crazier things. And there's always somebody who's more crazy than you are. So you never want to put yourself in the position of I'm the craziest, because there's always going to be somebody who can out crazy you. And you don't want to have to just keep doing more and more crazy stuff just to keep your name in the news. You think about Mike Tyson. When he went through he was in the Tyson zone. You never knew what he would do next. He was just doing crazy shit. But eventually he had to calm down because it's tiresome. There's only so much of that you can do. Donald Trump, he started his presidential campaign. He was coming out his face saying the most ridiculous stuff. You didn't know what he was going to say next. It worked for him because his name was on the front of every newspaper. Every blogger was talking about him. He was leading every newscast. But eventually he had to calm down and kind of be more of the brand that he was known for. And then that's actually working for him too. He might actually win the damn presidential campaign, but that's a whole different periscope that's not for me to talk about. Now, the next thing is, the fourth thing. This is the most important that a lot of people get wrong. Sell to your buyers. Sell to your buyers means this. When I say sell to your buyers, that means you identify who are the people who are buying into what you're doing, and you put all your attention on those people and none of your attention on the other people. Which means if you have a brand out there, there's people out there who are fans of me. And I put out stuff, they watch it. I'll make a video, they like, yo, I like that video. I write a blog post, they read it. I post a tweet, they retweet it. People who are fans, I get on Periscope, they watch it and hit the hearts. And there are people out there who just not a fan. They're like, oh, I don't like Dre Baldwin. I don't like the fact that he curses. I don't like the way he plays basketball. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like something that he said to me in a comment a long time ago. I emailed him like 6 years ago, and I don't like the way he wrote back. I'm not a fan of Dre Baldwin. No, F Dre Baldwin. They don't like me at all. Do I care about those people? Not at all. I'm focused on the people who are buying into what I'm doing. So think about this. If you ever been on an airplane, you know how the flight attendants come by, and please, while I'm talking, please swipe to the right, share this scope, bring more people in, and please keep hitting those hearts. Whoever that is in the blue and green who keep hitting the hearts, I really appreciate that. I don't know who y'all are, but I appreciate y'all hitting them hearts. Now, if you haven't been on an airplane and you see the flight attendants come down the aisle with the little cart with the drinks, what do? They go to each aisle. Hey, sir, do you want some water? No, he don't want none. You want some water? No, I don't want no water. You want some water? Yes, I want some water. Who gets all the attention? Person 1, person 2, person 3. Person 3 gets all the attention. Why? Because person 3 wants what you're offering. The person 1 and person 2, they say they don't want it. Now, does the flight attendant stop at you if you say you don't want water? Does the flight attendant try to convince you to have some water? They say, hey, you got to have this water. It's great water. There's a whole bunch of other people drinking it. It'll help you feel better. It'll help you live longer. It'll help flush out your system. It'll keep your windpipe unclogged. You'll feel better because we go on the high altitudes and we going through the turbulence in a few minutes. You got to have some water. Please, please, please have some water. Do the flight attendants do that? No. You say you don't want no water. It's like Kevin O'Leary says on Shark Tank. You are dead to me. I don't even care what you got to say. I don't care about your opinion. Why? Because what I'm offering, you don't want. I'm not paying you no mind. I go to the next person. You don't want no water? Pay you no mind. You want some water? All my attention goes to the person who wants some water. I'm going to deliver the water. If you want more, I'm going to give you more. And guess what? That one person drinking water is going to get other people interested in drinking water. But you want some water? Yes. You want some water? You got my attention. You want some? No. No attention. You want some? No. No attention. So when it comes to you, with the things you're doing in your life, whether you running a business, whether you starting a blog, whether you making YouTube videos, whether you asking people to buy the candy that you selling for the candy drive so you can pay your high school graduation dues, the people who do not want to buy what you are offering, whether that be in the form of attention, in the form of money, in the form of support, in the form of positive energy, if they are not interested in buying what you're offering, do not pay them any mind whatsoever. Do not try to convince them to support you. Do not argue with them. Do not get mad at them. Do not write a tweet about them. Don't make an Instagram post about them. Don't get upset about them. Don't complain to your girlfriend about them. Ignore them and move on to the next person, because you have buyers who are waiting and interested in hearing what you have to say, interested in consuming what you have to sell, but you can't get to them when you're paying all your attention to people who don't want to consume what you're offering. So sell to your buyers. Even if your buyer is only one person, sell to that buyer and get that buyer the best possible product or service you could ever give them, because when you do that, that buyer is going to go and tell somebody they know about this great product or service, and guess what? Now you got 2 buyers. You give them great product or service, now they're going to tell other people, now you got 4, now you got 30, now you got 3,000, now you got 30 million. That's how you increase your buyers, not by trying to convert the non-buyers into buyers. You find someone who's actually interested in what you got, put all your attention on them, they will draw in more people. It's a magnet effect. You don't go chasing them, you let them come to you by giving the best service to the ones who are interested. So there's a couple common questions that people ask with branding. We're going to wrap this up really soon. Number 1, people ask, what will I talk about? I just made a video about that. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. If you got questions about that, see the last scope that I just did a few minutes ago. The other one is, which platform should I use? Listen, only use the platforms that you like and will use. Don't try to be an octopus using Snapchat, Twitter, Kick, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all at the same time. If you don't actually like those platforms, then you're not going to use them. So don't get on them saying, oh, I got to get on them for my business, because people can tell when you're only using it for business and you're trying to get leads, but you're not actively a part of the community. Nobody's going to buy into what you're doing. It's not going to work. You're going to end up wasting a whole lot of time and getting no buyers. So don't even do it. And the third thing is, I don't know where to begin to gain traction online. I already went over that in my previous one. So in conclusion, what I do when I work with brands, people who want to become a brand, somebody running a business, I make your job very easy. All we're going to do, decide what real estate you own. Number 2, what combination of things you're doing and no one else is doing. And number 3, how do you make that clear over and over again until it's accepted and recognized as you being the owner of it, such as WOYFG. You just have to pound that into people's consciousness, and I work with people and do exactly that. And I'm putting a lot of this information out here on Periscope for free for y'all. This video is also going to be on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/DREUPT. Or just search my name, Dre Baldwin, on YouTube. Search it on Google. Everywhere I'm at, you're going to be able to find it. If you're looking for some more information, some more help, you can email me, Dre@DreAllDay.com, or go to my website, DreAllDay.com, or just hit me here on Periscope or hit me on Twitter. You can't message me here, but hit me on Twitter @DreAllDay, my Facebook page /work on your game. You do those 3 things that I just said. Decide what real estate you own, what combination of things you do that no one else does, and keep putting that message out there till it's accepted. You now have a brand. When you have a brand, you're out of the rat race of marketing on social media, off of the treadmill, and there is no MF in competition. Now that's it. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.
Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you follow all my top content up here. Follow me on all your favorite social networks right over here, and make sure you are subscribed to catch all the new content I put on this channel every single day. Work on your game.